This is the Blackberry Z10, BlackBerry's first smartphone powered by the new Blackberry 10 operating system. The Z10 is really a coming out party for the Blackberry 10 operating system, or BB10 for short, and is a huge bet placed by the company formerly known as Research in Motion. So let's start by taking a close look at BB10. Every platform has a particular focus, and for the BB10 it's about making a balance between constant communication and apps. Let me demonstrate. The BB10's interface is mainly split into two parts, with the apps on the right and something called the BlackBerry Hub on the left. Everything on the right is what you'd expect. You get an app launcher where you can swipe to view more items, and when you swipe from the top of the device into the screen, you get shortcuts to common system settings. After you launch an app, you get back to the home screen by swiping from the bottom of the device into the screen. The home screen will then show the apps that are currently running. Certain apps like the calendar will even turn into a widget if it is supported, and you can quit the app by simply tapping the little X. On the left is the BlackBerry Hub, something which I believe will be the signature of BlackBerry devices in the future. This single part of BB10 contains all of your communications, from BBM, SMSs and missed calls, to your social networking services including Facebook, Twitter and LinkedIn. Even notifications from other apps will appear here. Finally, applications will also be able to integrate into the BlackBerry Hub in the future. Right now, WhatsApp supports this, meaning that you can even send and receive WhatsApp messages from this hub. It's like a notification center on steroids. What's cool about the BlackBerry Hub is that it's not an app, it's part of the operating system. That means that from any app that I'm using, I can simply swipe up halfway to see if there's anything new in my BlackBerry Hub, and a simple swipe will bring you straight into the hub for you to deal with your communications and get right back into your app once you're done. Speaking of which, BB10 is a very gesture-heavy platform, but after a simple tutorial the first time you turn on the device, you'll find that the gestures are actually quite intuitive. So much so that I found myself unconsciously swiping my iPhone when I went back to it. This means that you hardly need to use any hardware buttons to use the device. Even unlocking the device can be done without pressing the power button. While we're at the lock screen, here's a cool feature. Swipe it down like this, and the phone switches to Do Not Disturb mode, where you can quickly set an alarm and have the screen dimmed for easy reading of the clock at night. The other interesting feature is the on-screen keyboard. I found the keyboard to be quite usable, and more intelligent than many Android keyboards I've tried in the past. But the unique feature is the ability to toss words with a swipe. The keyboard will attempt to guess the word that you're typing and let you toss it up if it's correct. This feature requires some getting used to, and you need to train your brain to trust its prediction. I found that it got more words correct after the third character, so I would train myself to toss my third key press without looking at the keyboard. That said, tossing words was not something that's very intuitive, and I found it easier to just type away like I used to. So that was the general overview of BB10. In terms of specific features, BB10 is attempting to target both work and play with its devices. For example, for work, BB10 comes with a great calendar app that automatically lists related emails to an event for quick referencing, comes with great support for cloud storage solutions including Dropbox and Box.net, and ships with documents to go for your document office needs out of the box. For play, BB10 comes with the essential music and video players and a standard web browser. That works quite well. BB10 also ships with its own mapping service that unfortunately relies on their own data rather than on something more detailed like Google Maps. The one app that BlackBerry likes to show off, however, is its camera app. The camera is pretty simple to use, but comes with this third mode known as Time Shift. In this mode, after taking a picture of a bunch of people, you can adjust individual faces and scrub through time until everyone in the shot has a perfect smile. BlackBerry believes that BB10 will be great for people looking to balance work and play, and created a feature that's literally called BlackBerry Balance. This feature will require support from an enterprise IT department of course, but when activated, allows you to split the device between work and play apps and associated data. So much so that you would not be able to copy and paste data from a work app into a play app. I'm sure IT would really appreciate that. And of course, there's apps. BlackBerry's store is called the BlackBerry World, and sadly, they face a problem every new platform faces, the lack of apps. To give them credit, BlackBerry has done a great job to get as many people to build apps for BlackBerry 10, and it shows by the amount of apps available at launch. Unfortunately, several popular services aren't on the platform yet. For example, none of the official Google apps are available, nor is Instagram or Spotify, two services I miss the most when I use the Z10 as my primary device. Fortunately, it's not something that can't be fixed with time. So that was BB10. Now, let's talk about the device, the Z10. The first thing about the Z10's device is that it's frankly not the prettiest device on the market. It's a simple black slab that looks like a shrunken BlackBerry playbook. But while the device may not be the best looking, it is very practical. The back of the phone is a soft touch material with curved edges that makes the Z10 comfortable to hold, and the volume buttons are all within your finger's reach. In terms of specifications, the Z10 has quite an impressive 4.2-inch display with a resolution of 1280 by 768, resulting in a pixel density of 356 pixels per inch. It's also got an 8-megapixel camera with autofocus, f2.2 aperture and LED flash on the back, and a front-facing 2-megapixels camera for self-portraits or video calls. Like previous BlackBerry devices, the Z10 also comes with an LED indicator to notify you of any pending notifications. For radio, it's got everything you'd expect a flagship smartphone to have today: a 4G LTE radio, Wi-Fi with ability to act as a mobile hotspot, Bluetooth 4.0, GPS, and even NFC. Powering all of this is a dual-core 1.5 GHz Snapdragon processor with 16 GB of internal storage expandable by microSD. Finally, continuing its tradition to please the business folk, the battery is also replaceable. So that was BlackBerry 10 and its first smartphone, the Z10. BlackBerry 10 looks like a promising platform that's targeting the people who need to be constantly connected to their communications, whether for work or for play. All it needs now is for the platform and its app ecosystem to mature, and it just might be able to compete with the two current leaders, Android and iOS.